Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our class today. So today you're going to study Vclass 2, Presenting in English. Good evening. So as you know, the textbook we are studying is English for Presentation. The textbook is divided into or consists of 6 units. The first one is getting started. It means how to make a good introduction. The second one is today's topic is, okay, it means how you develop the body paragraphs. The next one, how to show the slides and to show the visuals, okay. Next, how to sum up. And finally, is how to deal with questions. So after studying this Vclass, you're going to know how to develop a good presentation from the beginning to the end. First, you learn how to make a sound introduction. Making a presentation here depends on the key points. If you have got 3 key points, so the presentation should last in 10 to 15 minutes. If it has 6 key points, it lasts in 30 minutes. And 8 key points, it should last for 45 minutes. Okay, so your presentation should have 3 key points and you should present in 8 to 10 minutes. That's okay. And our purpose of presentation is to inform, to persuade, or to educate. It depends on your purpose of giving the presentation. Okay. So, how about the introduction? In the introduction, you should welcome the audience and introduce yourself. You identify the number 1 goal or the topic presentation. You give a quick outline of your presentation. You provide the instructions for how to ask questions. Okay. And how about the how to attract the audience, how to make your audience easy to understand, right? You use some key expressions for each step. Don't use slangs or so many technical terms because slangs and technical terms are difficult to understand. Okay. You should capture the audience attention by telling personal stories or experience. Use a motivational quote, telling a joke, asking rhetorical questions, or you ask a question and you expect the answers from the audience. That is a real questions, not rhetorical questions. Got it? So what should include in the introduction? Be sure that the introduction should include greeting, name, position, the title or the subject of the talk, the purpose of the talk, the length, the outline, and how to ask questions. How can you introduce yourself? How can you welcome the audience? You know that the presentation should be formal, so that's why the way you talk, the language you use must be formal. So you can say, good morning, my name is, or I am, or ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished audience. Or you say, good morning, let me start by saying just a few words about my background, I am, or welcome to. I know I've met some of you before, but just for the benefit of those who I haven't. So you introduce the name and the position at work. Okay, so that is the way to greet, introduce name and position. And then you introduce the title by saying that I'd like to talk to you about, I'm going to present or to explain about, to brief you on, to inform you of, or to describe. Or you can say the subject of my talk, my presentation, or my speech is. So here you can introduce the topic. And then you say about the purpose of the talk by saying that we are here to update you on or to put you in the picture about, to give you the background to. You can say the talk or the speech is designed to act as the springboard for the discussion or to start the ball rolling. Okay. And then you say about the length of the talk. Yeah. So the audience expect to know the length of the talk. So you say, I shall take only 10 minutes of your time or 15 minutes of your time. Or generally, you can say that I plan to be brief. This should take only 10 minutes or 8 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay. So the audience can be sure about the length of the talk. And then you introduce the outline by saying that I've divided my presentation into 2 parts or 3 parts. There, the subject can be looked at under the following headings. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, and finally. Remember that they go in groups. For example, when you use the word firstly, so you use secondly, thirdly, and finally. But you use the word first of all, so you can say then or next, and then or last of all, or finally, or the final point. It's okay. So remember that they go in group. So you shouldn't say that firstly, and then you say the next. No, just say that firstly, secondly, thirdly, and finally. Okay. You should tell the audience when they can stop you, when they can pause you to ask questions by saying that I'm glad to answer any questions at the end of my talk. If you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt. Or please interrupt me if there's something which needs clarifying. Otherwise, there will be time for discussion at the end. Okay, so you can if you say like this one, they know that they can interrupt you or not, or they have to wait until the end of the talk. Now, how to make a start? Here you can see some of the words given, and how can you fill in the blanks to make the complete sentences? Can you do it, please? For example, the first one you say. How can you say about the first one? The first one. Let me thank you for being here today. So what is it, the first one? Now you have to say, good morning. Okay, good morning. Let me thank you for being here today. Oh, another one you say, let me. Yeah, right. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dan Taylor. Yeah, my name is Dan Taylor. Right. I'm here today to I'm here today to do what? To present. Very good. I'm here today to present our new semi-automatic serving system. My talk is particularly relevant to those who place order for the different parts we supply. Okay, so you can, when you fill in the blanks here, you can fill in the blanks here. You know how to introduce yourself, how to introduce the topic of the talk, of the presentation, right? Next, how can you say? I'm happy so many of you could. Can you predict? I'm happy so many of you could come today. As such short notice, okay, as such short notice. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is a project documentation, okay. This is extremely, for all of us, necessary for all of us who are directly working in international project management, right? Uh-huh. The next one, how can you say, I am that? You have a very time. So I appreciate you taking the time to come here today. So you can say, I am. I am. I'm sure that you have a very tight schedule. Tight schedule here means that you have got a lot of things to do. You have just a little time. So you can say that you have a tight schedule. So I appreciate you taking the time to come here today. As you may know, because some of you know me, some of you don't know me. So that's why I have to say, as you may know, my name is, so you introduce yourself here. I'm the new maybe production manager or marketing manager here at Western Limited. Today's topic will be very important for you as a customer or as the production manager since it helps you to evaluate and select candidates for training. Okay, yeah, that's it. Mhm. And here is another introduction. This is also a good introduction for you to study. You know that the introduction here usually begins with greeting like good morning and thank you for making effort to be here with us today. And then you introduce your name and your position at work. So you say, my name is John Braham. I'm responsible for public affairs. And you introduce the topic. So you say, what I'd like to do today is to talk about our recent corporate campaigns. And you say about the layout by saying that this brief talk will hopefully act as the springboard for discussion. I'm going to look at the corporate campaigns from the 3 points of view. Okay, it is clearly that the topic is divided into the 3 points of view. Firstly, the customers. Secondly, the financial institutions. And finally, the shareholders. So you should tell the layout, the outline clearly like this one. What is the first one, the second one, and the third one? Okay. So you say, if you have any questions, please interrupt me as I'm going along. And my point of view will be different. And I'd like to hear from you. Okay. You can see that it has got all the information the audience need to know from you. The topic, the length, the outline, okay, and when they can ask questions. Got it? Easy? Is it? How about the next one? How about the second one? The second one here, you can see the sample introduction and they would like you to use the phrases in bold here to be used instead of the phrases in italics. Okay. For example, you say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of saying, it's a pleasure to be here with you today, so you can use, I'm delighted to be here with you today. My name is Gordon Matthews. I'm in charge. But instead of using in charge, you can say that I take care. Yeah, I take care. This one, I take care. I take care of corporate finance of our headquarters here in Brussels. We are here today to review. So instead of we are here today, so you can say my purpose is to go through. My purpose is to go through some key features and to the outline financial strategy over the next 5 years. So what I intend today is to break down. So instead of saying breakdown, you can use the word divide. Okay, divide this presentation into 3 parts. Instead of parts, you can use the word sections or areas or points. Okay, it's okay. First, the financial review. Second, the options facing us. And finally, the strategy I propose. If you have any questions, please feel free. But you can also use the word I'm delighted. Okay. You have any questions? I'm delighted. Was it? Oh, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. This one must be number 7 here. Must be don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate to interrupt me. But I should also say that there will be opportunity. I can say there will be a chance to discuss in a more depth after my talk. Okay. Is it clear about the introduction, everyone? Is it clear? How to make a good introduction? Is it clear? Yes, good job. Thank you, Tâm. Now just move on to the next one, please. Yeah, so how can you move from the introduction to the body paragraphs? When you have made a good introduction, it's time for you to move to the body paragraphs by saying that, let's start by looking at, to begin, I'd like to share with you, or that I'd like to start with, okay? And you explain clearly the first idea. And after finishing the first idea with explanation, examples, okay, you move to another topic by saying that, now I'd like to move on to, or I'd like to turn to, I will move on to my next point, which is, moving on to the next point, I'd like to, blah, blah, blah. So you just say about the second main point with explanation and examples, okay? Got it? So these are the linking phrases to link from the introduction to the body paragraphs, from the first body paragraph to the second body paragraph. And if you want to mention about the previous information, you can say that, as I mentioned earlier, as I mentioned in the introduction, as we touched on earlier, okay, yeah. And when you want to show, in the first Vclass, I have talked to you about how to choose the visuals. The visuals must be clear and big enough so the audience can see from you. And you want to just emphasize the data, the features in the photo, the pictures, or the chart. You just say that, I'd like to bring your attention to this chart or graph. To illustrate this point, please look at, to highlight this. Or as you can see from here, or you can say the graph illustrate, or the graph of the chart illustrate. Okay, so you show the chart, or you show the pictures, and you use the phrases here to highlight the points. And then you explain what the data is like. Okay. Explain clearly. If you want to give examples, you just say that, for example, for instance, I'd like to share an example of this with, a good example of this is, right? So you give examples. And for if you want to get the attention or the interest from the audience, you can ask the rhetorical questions. The rhetorical questions here is just to attract the attention, to attract the interest from the audience. But you just raise the questions, and you have to answer these questions by yourself by saying that, so what we can learn from this? What does this information tell us? What can we learn from this chart? How should we interpret these statistics? You raise the question and you give the answers. Got it? So it is called the rhetorical questions. It is not the questions for your audience, but these are the questions for yourself. You ask, you give the answers. Okay, yeah. Rhetorical questions. Yeah. So here are the sentences for you to make the comparison, or to combine them together to make the sentence. Okay, for example, our competitors are becoming stronger. One of them Faken has a joint venture in a Japanese firm. So you can say, for example, one of them is, okay, like this one, stronger. By the way, one of them is, or another one, I've divided this into two parts. So you have to say about the two parts with the linking phrases. Firstly, secondly, right? This year, we have lost market share. Okay, however, we expect to remain number one in the market. However, we expect to remain number one in the market. There are more vital factors to consider. For example, for instance, or for in particular, okay, you use the phrases here. Falcon has reduced its cost by relocating. Similarly, we must consider cutting the cost of our premises. Or we've had a difficult year, but we've still made a healthy profit. Yeah. So you use the phrases in here to link the ideas together to make it logical. Got it? Yeah. So when you have finished the body paragraphs, give the clear explanation. You come to the end of the presentation. So how can you end the presentation? You should say that you must have the signal. You must have the signal to end the presentation. So you can say, I'd like to finish with powerful quote from, and finally, let's finish up today's discussion with this surprising statistic or surprising data. And then you give the example. Yeah, you say, in the end, these are the example, the famous quotation. You say, in the end, we'll remember not the words of the enemies, but the silence of our friends. Or sometimes we stay so long at the door that is closing that we see too late the one that is open. Okay. So, or another one, you can add the surprising statistic. For example, you say, did you know that the human's brain capacity is limitless? That's great news, right? But do you know that the person is likely to remember only 25% of the presentation after 24 hours. Okay, so the first one, you say that the human's brain capacity is limitless, but you can remember only 25% of the presentation after 24 hours. That's the problem. Okay, that's so surprising data, right? And when you have signaled the ending of the talk, you have to give the summary. Okay, you must summarize the key points. So you say, that brings us to the end of the presentation. I'd like to summarize by saying, that concludes my presentation. However, I'd like to quickly summarize the key points or the main points or takeaways. Okay, always remember to summarize the key points of the talk after you have finished your presentation. And never forget to thank your audience. Yeah, never forget to thank your audience by saying that. And that brings me to the end. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention today. Never say that. I'd like to thanks. No, thanks is not formal. You have to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. I can see that your time is just about up. So to finish, I'd like to say thank you. Or you can say I sincerely appreciate that I've had this opportunity to present to you. Okay, so please try to express your sincere thanks to the audience for their time and for their attention. Next, I will tell you how to take questions. When you have finished all the information, you have given the conclusion, the summary. So you ask the audience if they have any questions. they would like to ask any questions by saying that if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to open up the discussion. Or if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now and I'll do the best to answer. Or would anyone like to ask any questions? I would now be interested to hear from you with your thoughts and questions. Okay? Yeah, so please welcome questions from the audience. And if you want to raise questions, if you want to ask the other speaker questions, you can say that, do you mind if I ask you, or would you mind telling me, could you tell me about, I'm interested to know, or I'd like to know. Okay. And then if anyone want to ask question, for example, you look at their face expression, or somebody ask, oh, excuse me, can I ask a question? So you encourage them to ask question by saying that, go ahead, or please do, certainly. That's a good question. Okay. After hearing the questions, you should give comments on that question by saying that that's a good question. That's interesting. Or that's what we are concerning about. Or that's what I would like to focus on. Yeah. So it means that is a very useful question, and that is also the question you want to clarify. Next, if you don't get the content of the question, the information clearly, so you need to clarify the questions by saying that, if I understand you correctly, you are saying or you are asking, okay, so they know that you check if you understand the question correctly before giving the answers, or otherwise it would like you them to repeat the question. So you say that, I didn't quite catch that. Could you go over that again? I'm not sure what you are getting at. Would you mind saying that again? So please don't raise the direct question, but use the indirect ones. Okay. Sometimes we don't want to answer the questions. Sometimes we have to avoid giving the answers. So how can you avoid giving the answers? You just say that it's off the track today, so we'll deal with that later. And that's not on the focus of the subject today. So off the track, not on the focus here. It means that it's not about the topic I'm talking about. Okay, so please talk about that later or on another occasion. Okay, and if somebody knows that better than you, so you can kick the ball to that person by saying that, I'm afraid that's not my field. I'm sure Mr. John could answer that question. Okay, and Mr. John will catch the ball and turn it to the other person. Okay, or he can respond to the question easily because it is his field. Or another one you can say, another way, you can say that, I'm so sorry that I don't have the figure with me. Okay, if they want to know the data, if they want to know the figure, but you are not sure about it, so that's why you can say, I don't have the figure with me. I will send it to you via email later, or I will tell you, I will contact and tell you later. Okay, that's interesting, but I prefer not to answer that question today, so we may discuss about it later. Yeah. So these are the ways to avoid answering questions, because it is not always, we cannot be always answer all the questions. Yeah. So sometimes we have to avoid. Got it? And after answering the questions, please make sure if the audience are satisfied with your answers or not by saying that, is that what you would like to know? Or is that okay for you? Does it satisfy your need? Okay. And furthermore, remember that you always the further contact in the last in the last slide. Always give the further contact. The further contact here may be email on the social network via Zalo, or Instagram, Facebook, or anything. But if they need more information, they know who to contact and how to contact. Okay. Please tell the audience. If you would like more information, here is the list of useful resources or websites. Or if anyone would like more information or has questions, please feel free to contact me at, okay? So tell them how to contact you. Here is a list for further reading on this topic, right? So they know where to get more information, where they can find the other resources, okay? Yeah, so that is what I would like to tell you today. It is about how to make a good introduction, how to organize the information logically from the introduction to the body paragraphs, from the body paragraphs to the end of the presentation, and how to deal with questions. That is really important. Okay, yeah, because sometimes you have to welcome the question first, clarify the question, give comment on the question, and you may answer or may not answer the questions. It's up to you. Okay, yeah. So, any questions? Any questions are welcome. Any questions, everyone? Is it clear about how to develop a presentation? Is it clear? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tâm. You need to know more information, to know, yeah, to know more information about how to develop a presentation. Just follow the class today. So I have gone from the beginning to the end, how to make an introduction, how to link the introduction to the body paragraphs, how to end the presentation, and how to deal with questions. That is very clear and very nice. So you can learn from it. Okay, got it? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, we can end the lecture today. Okay. Thank you, Tâm. And bye-bye. And good luck, Tâm. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, we hope to see you again in the next, the next subject, the following subjects. Okay, bye bye, and see you again. And I hope that you enjoyed the lesson today. Okay, bye bye. See you.